New data from Nanos research shows that Canadians feel the country is in a worse place now financially than just 4 weeks ago. Nik Nanos joins me now, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Nik, it's wonderful to see you.
Good to see you too, Angie.
You know what? The numbers are concerning, but they're not shocking. Or surprising, I should say. What's driving them?
Well, you know, what's very clear is that Canadians are worried about their personal finances and where the economy is going. And, you know, the thing is that the mood is ugly. Right now, when we ask the top thing that Canadians are worried about or concerned about on a national basis, jobs in the economy is at the top at 17%. It's up a full 3 percentage points over the last 4 weeks. Things like healthcare and inflation and the environment are also important. Also, what we're seeing is that worry about housing is on the upswing over the last 4 weeks. What this speaks to is a situation where worrying about paying the bills, concern about a potential recession is now starting to dominate the agenda as we get into the fall. And you know what? It's just downright, it's getting ugly when we're looking at the numbers and the trajectory of the numbers right now.
Indeed, and you mentioned the personal finances there. That has been an issue really right from the get-go. I would say really going on 3 years now, of course, if we're looking at the start of the pandemic. Now, of course, we're talking about inflation. We're all talking very much about the R word. With everyone sort of keeping an eye on what Chrystia Freeland is going to say with that fiscal update, clarifying again, saying, you know, not to expect big money to help Canadians cope with inflation. How do you think that is now going to affect their attitude on their personal finances?
It's going to make it even worse.
Yeah.
And to put this into context, about 44% of Canadians say that their personal finances are worse now than a year ago. That might not sound like a big number, but we've been tracking this since 2008, and we are actually near a record in terms of negative opinion on the state of people's personal finances. So you have, on the one hand, 44% of people saying that it's going to get worse or has been worse, only 15% saying that it's better. So people are 3 times more likely to be negative than positive on this. But when we look at the long-term trend, it's actually quite dour. And I think they're coming off the pandemic. There was support. So now there's no support for the pandemic. We heard from Minister Freeland that there won't be support for a potential recession. Interest rates are going up. People are struggling to pay the rent. The cost of food is going up. And that's all we're seeing is that people are increasingly reporting that their personal finances are worse now than they were a year ago.
So then when we're looking at the overall economy then, where do Canadians stand on that with, of course, saying if I can't find a job, or perhaps I'm in a job but I can't pay the bills because I'm not getting paid enough here, you want the infusion of that money going into the economy to reboost things. The numbers aren't adding up.
Absolutely. And I think, Angie, realistically, we are already in a psychological recession. You know, and when we ask Canadians to project into the future in terms of whether they think the economy will get weaker or stronger in the next 6 months, a whopping 56% of Canadians believe that the economy will get weaker. That's up a full 7 percentage points. And only 10% of Canadians think that it'll get stronger, and that's down 6 points. So people are 5.5 times more likely to, when they're projecting into the future, think that it's going to be bad, that the economy will be weaker, and they'll probably be struggling even more when it comes to paying their bills.
As I said, we'll be waiting for that fiscal update from Chrystia Freeland. That's coming Thursday. Nik, it's always good to have you to break it down for us. Nik Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Thanks again for this, Nik.
Bye-bye.